Well, it's Sunday, October the 25th. This video, the sound is not that good. It was windy out, and apparently my mic on my earbud is not working as well as I thought it was. But it is what it is. I hope you are interested in the video anyway. I don't think it's a great video, but here you are, and this is what the garden is looking like. Well, even though only one of my earbuds is working, it seems to be working fine, so I'm going to use that. If someday I find a way to have money above my bare necessities of life, then I'll get myself another pair of earbuds. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to harvest this dill. What I need to do first is I need to take some of these, because they're ripe seeds now, and I need to sprinkle them around the garden, and then we'd have dill weed again next year, the same as we had this year. So as I said, I'm going to look at a few of them to see which looks to be the best one, because like these, well, this is still flowers here, but these are gone completely brown. So I'm assuming that, yeah, see, these are coming off easy. So that's what I was looking for. So that first bunch that I pulled off didn't come off easy. So I'll pull off a bunch. The hoverflies, if you watch that last video of it, I put up just some pictures. Those were hoverflies on this dill. They seem to love it. Now, I'll come over by the camera again. That should be plenty. And I'll just take a pinch of them and sprinkle them out over the bed, 1 pinch per bed. And then next year, I only can do some out of the hop, right? I don't kill them, so as you know, so they'll hear the top. And then when the weather warms up in the spring, then some of these will sprout. And I'll decide what ones I want to leave and just take up the rest. I'm going to sprinkle some out in this rhubarb bed here as well. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with it, but it looks like I'm going to just take up this rhubarb and make it into a bed for other crops. So I should have some dill weed next year. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them off right at the base. Maybe I'll pull them up because it doesn't matter, and then make it easier for me to cut them. Oh, so it just broke right off. I'll bring them up close to the camera. So I can just break them off like that. all come out like that. Oh. Yeah, I'm going to have to break them down somewhat, but I kind of think I want to decide on that when I get in the house. They must have big roots on them. That one broke right off in the middle. I'm going to see if I can just break them all off. Leave the wheelbarrow there, walk around, break them off, come back with an armful, and put it in the wheelbarrow. Now that's a lot from just this one patch here. I don't know how much I'll be able to use the main stem, so I'm taking it all in and drying it, and I'll do some research on if and how to process the stem. But there is still a lot of leaves on it, and then of course all of these seed heads, including the flowers, they can be used the same as you use any other dill seed that you'd buy, right? But once again, that's from this patch. I don't have an appropriate place to put them, so I'm going to have to put them right there for now. Stove is right there. And think about that. I might move them later. If I do, I'll show you. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, you see there's some onions here that has no top. Like that one right there, for instance. The ones with tops on them, I'm going to leave. There's another one over there with no top. Because I like to come out and get an onion or two when I'm going to make my pancakes and use the green top in the pancake. So until we get cold enough weather or the tops die, then I'll just leave those onions in the ground. I thought there was a trowel in the hen house, but there wasn't, so I'm going to have to use this now. Trowel's in the house somewhere, I guess. But some of them, see, they're not so easy to pull up. So you have to have something to loosen up, stick down in under the bulb. Looks like some of them had stopped growing and then started regrowing. But there they are, such that it is. Now, these white onions, they won't keep. If I can get it to focus on this one, you see, slugs will eat these more because they're sweet. They're sweet onion, and they're more prone to be chewed on by slugs. But you can see, come on, focus again. There's some spots of fungus already on this one. So the white onions have to be used up as soon as possible. It's not raining right now. My phone is threatening me that it's going to start to rain anytime at all. But I have the garlic cloves all separated out. I'm going to plant the garlic in this bed this year. Now remember, the black turtle beans were here, and I think last year there was beans in this bed as well. So the garlic should grow quite well here. Okay, I'll get the fork and loosen it up so I can get those weeds out fairly easy. These sticks here, I've got a head rush. I have a piece of tape where every row is supposed to go. I'll lay that right in the center. Because then I could plant halfway from each side, right? No, just those few picks of rain, and it stopped again now. I have 200 cloves of garlic here, 201 actually, I think it is. They're not all going to fit in this bed, but I was thinking that I plant out this bed, and then I'm going to plant a couple some other place. I'll decide once I get this bed planted out. So for garlic, that's your top garlic. This is where the stalk was coming up this way, and the root was down there. And you stick it in to the ground, just so that the top's covered just a little bit. That's all. Just like that. It's only maybe a centimeter under the ground. They say 4 inches. That's for people who are new, really. Just do it exact. Once you get into gardening, start just eyeballing everything. Look at the size of this body clove, eh? So you put in a bigger clove, that means your garlic has more energy to start with. So in theory, then you can get a bigger bulb of garlic afterwards. But apart from that, you're planting cloves, so you're just cloning the previous plant. So 20 rows, and I've got 8 in a row, so that's 160 I planted. So I guess but that don't look like 40 there. I'll decide whether I'm going to plant them or not, because like I said, I don't really know where I want to plant them. So I'll think about that. Okay, now what I got here is unexpected. I'm hoping that they don't all grow. This here, so down the bottom there's like 4 in a row, 3 rows, so 12, and then I've got 3 on top, so 15 black locusts, and they seem to be all alive. Right here I have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 honey locusts, which they lost their leaves much earlier because they had dried out, and when I come back from the hospital, they had lost their leaves, but the stem is still green underneath the bark, so they seem to be alive still. So I'm going to plant them, and I'm, like I said, I'm hoping they don't all grow. Right here, these are Don Redwood. So I want those 3 to grow. I know where I'm going to plant them. This one here, this is a northern hackberry. And I've got 4 more right there. Honestly, I really didn't expect this forest to start regrowing as fast as it is. Just down right there, this is right there is where I started cutting the firewood. And spruce are up, white spruce is up 2, 3, some of them 4 feet high, just down right there. And there's little ones growing up around here as well. So this is an open spot. The Don Redwood, they say if you want a single specimen tree, then you plant them 25 to 30 feet apart, and also plant them 25 to 30 feet from any buildings. I'm not wanting a single specimen tree, actually. They said if you want to plant them as a grove of trees, you plant them about 10 feet apart. So that's what I'm going to do. See, I'll probably cut down that spruce if this redwood grows. And if he does, then I've got that spruce out there, and this one in here, and in between the 2, I'll have this dead edge thing growing as a fence. Then I'll just go 1, 2, 3. So that spruce is coming out of it. Oh dear, I can't remove that spruce. He's got to stay. So what did I do, I wonder? Yeah, I'm going to have to stop planting these kind of trees. Any more trees I'm planting is going to be fruit trees. I am just going to put this one out here in the middle. And it's late October. So all I need to do is get a place where I can get this shovel down and poke the tree in just like they do when they're out doing the commercial tree planting. After they go in and clear cut and they replant with their spruce trees. I got to do somewhat of a hole, don't I? See the root system on that? It's been twirling around, so hopefully it'll be okay. I put it there. Like I say, it'll be dormant all winter now. It's not gone cold enough yet for it to get dormant. I think they're a northern end of the temperate forest, whereas we're on the southern end of the boreal forest. So with the increasing temperatures, that one, temperature-wise, should do well. I don't have a lot of physical oomph today. Yesterday I had a few of those little head rushes, like when you bent over too long and you stand up fast. So I don't know what was up with that. When I finished planting the garlic, I had spinning tension in the head, so I had to go and lay down and wait for that to pass off. Now I'm breathing like I just biked as fast as I could all the way to Louisport and back. But at any rate, I'm going to put the black locust here. I planted some other trees here once and they didn't take. I think it was mulberry. So I'll lay them out around and poke them in and see what happens. Scrape back to the soil. I just got them put down on the soil. See what happens in the spring. There's lots of vegetation all around them, of course. So I have, I believe it's 14 honey locust trees there. The leaves had fallen earlier, but the bark, underneath bark is still green, so hoping that some of them will grow. Of course, this whole area here, we've cleared all the old trees out of it. Much of these yellow leaves you see here, this is birch. And especially I've got two big clumps right there. 1, 2. So I'm going to walk around. Oh, you're tipping sideways. Why are you tipping? There you go. And lay them out there somewhere. I'm not going to be back here with the quad for a long time. And so I can lay them out around and then poke them in. I'll lay one right down where you are there. And I'm not looking for any special spacing or what. I'll have to go around and look for where I've got them put afterwards. So I decided I'm going to leave the container beside each plant. I'm going to make a bunch of signs to go up, bring up and stick in beside each one. So for now I'll leave the container there so that when I bring up the signs I'll be able to find the plant. The northern hackberry, I only have 5 of them, but I was just checking them over and they grow little drupes similar to the common pin cherry we have here, but they taste like dates. So I think that's what I was growing them for. And you make a mash for the berries and then you flavor porridge, muffins, whatever. So they're for adding a date flavor to different baking and breakfast things. So I want to plant them more properly than I planted those other ones. And this is mostly aspen here. The trail is right here. So sometime next week I'm going to bring them up and I have to clear everything down, make a proper hole, put some compost in there, and then plant the tree. So now, next week, which is actually this week now, because this is Sunday, I think I'm going to take up the rest of the onions. I'll take up the carrots. I've got to save everything I can. So I'll keep all of those little turnips and rutabaga that's there. And cabbage over there. I got to think about, I'm thinking about making some chili with the mousse actually. And the cabbage. And see what else I'm mixing in with it. And then we've got our potatoes over here, which are mostly small. And that'll be the harvest, I guess. Oh yeah, and we got some actually nice rutabaga just in behind there, right here. And that'll be all for the harvest for this year. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.